Toronto's deputy mayor is facing growing pressure by city councillors to convince Rob Ford to step aside. The mayor seems intent on staying. There are other moves happening at City Hall too, in particular a motion to strip the mayor of some of his powers. Toronto's deputy mayor Norm Kelly joins me now live on the telephone. Deputy Mayor Norm Kelly, you told CBC News just a little while ago you support the motion to strip Mayor Ford of some of his powers. Which powers and why?
Well, we have a system at City Hall that is unique. No other municipality has that in Ontario, and maybe not across Canada. After several terms in the amalgamated city, there was a feeling that the mayor didn't have enough weight to carry his agenda in council. So a decision was made to give the mayor the power to appoint chairs of the committees of council. Everywhere else, the chairs are chosen by the committees themselves. And take that group, and there are 7 altogether, and the deputy mayor, again an appointment by the mayor, and create a cabinet or something like a cabinet, and use that to drive the agenda.
That's what we know as the executive.
It's the executive committee, and it was to function in a cabinet-like way. In other words, there was to be a solidarity to it. But apparently the mayor's actions over the last few days, where he approached a number of members of the executive and said, listen, you're on side or you're fired, prompted some people to take a look at the origins of those powers. Now, everyone thought that the enhanced authority of the mayor came from the City of Toronto Act. It was therefore carved in stone and could only be changed by the province. But lo and behold, what was discovered was that this is actually a bylaw of the city. It was created in anticipation of Miller's second term, and since it's a product of council, or if it's been given by council, it can be taken away by council. And if it is, then the mayor reverts to the authority level, if you will, that all the other mayors in the city or in the province enjoy, and the mayors Miller in his first term and Lastman exercised in the amalgamated city.
Okay, so this can be changed with a majority of council at its next meeting. When is it, next week?
It can be changed with a 2/3 majority of the members present. The most difficult 2/3 to get is 2/3 of the total vote of council.
2/3 of the total vote of council. So how many councillors?
No, that's the toughest 2/3 to get. The easiest 2/3 is the 2/3 of members present.
Ah, I see. Okay, so what you're saying is people have to show up and they have to cast their vote. 2/3 of them have to vote in favor of all of council to change this bylaw.
That's correct, which means you could actually change the bylaw with a minimum, or less, I should say, less than the majority of council.
Okay. Norm Kelly, I want to be clear on this. Are you saying that the mayor has threatened people with firing in the last number of days, members of his executive?
Well, that's the word on the second floor, that basically he said to a couple of members, listen, are you with me or are you against me? And if it's the latter, if you're not a team player, how can I keep you on the team?
Okay. So, and what did it mean to be with him?
Well, when I served on Miller's executive committee in his second term as the chair of the planning committee, and he and I and others believed that in this new hybrid system, in this new quasi-cabinet style of government, to accept a nomination by the mayor to serve as a chair was to buy into his core policies. Not all of his policies, but certainly his core policies. And if you did disagree with him, and I did on at least one, tell him beforehand. Talk it out with them. Maybe there's a compromise. Maybe some amendments can be made. But by and large, there's an agreement,
Okay.
an implied agreement between the mayor and the person who accepts a chair. You will support the mayor's core agenda. And so I think what he was doing this time around a few days ago was to see where the core support was among his executives. And if it wasn't there, you know, what the opportunity was of, like a football team, make a cut and fill with someone else.
Norm, is it possible, Deputy Mayor Norm Kelly, is it possible that the mayor could still fire members of his cabinet, his executive, before this bylaw gets changed?
Technically, yes. All it takes from the mayor is a letter under his signature to the clerk saying, I have dismissed or released. I don't know what the term, what term would be used. And upon receipt, that person no longer no longer chairs or deputy mayors.
Do you think you have the power through the votes? Do you think you have the votes and the willingness of council to be there to cast their vote to get this passed?
It's hard to say. Things are in a state of flux. We have 44 members on council, and I've been so darn busy with media interviews that I haven't had a chance to get out on the second floor and test the wind, although I've had my staff doing that on my behalf.
And what are they telling you?
Well, there's a heavy heart out there. People want to protect the authority of the mayor's office. They understand the importance of having a cabinet-like executive. And that's why I think the way it's framed now, it's only for the duration of this term. It's a temporary taking back of authority.
What authority would he have left if it works for you?
Well, he would have the authority of every other mayor in the province, and the same authority that Mel Lastman had in his first term as the mayor of the amalgamated city. It's the authority of persuasion.
Authority of persuasion. Okay.
That's it.
All right. I want to ask you a question before I let you go. Do you believe that the mayor has been a good mayor so far, and what do you think he's achieved for this city?
Well, I served in the previous administration with people who are now in the opposition. And they used to say to me from time to time, how can you serve with this mayor? And my response was, leadership takes many forms. And his may be blunter and simpler than others, but to lead is to give a sense of direction and to carry out successfully your major policies. And, you know, he did that. He said, I'm going to cut the car tax. I did. Council did. I'm going to contract out garbage, waste pickup in the west end of the city because I think we can save a lot of money and get improved service. Council agreed, and that resulted. He said one of the most important challenges facing any municipality today are rising employee costs. So I'm going to try and see if we can slow this down with our unions when we sign the agreements. Council agreed, gave him a mandate, and he did it. And there are others who would say he believes that rapid transit in the city of Toronto should be defined as subways. And just a couple of weeks ago, we got a commitment by the council to build a subway extension of the Danforth line.
All right.
So he's got a record of achievement,
Okay.
but
All right.
not a style that you'd associate normally with it.
All right. Toronto's Deputy Mayor Norm Kelly, thank you for joining me live on the phone from Toronto City Hall.